Hi, nice to meet you all. I'm Francesco Marino. I'm Italian. I define myself a 360 degrees creative because I have a mixed background. I studied IT, web. I'm a UI UX designer. I do video making, photography, 2D animation. I like to combine. I like to try different tools and combine them and see what comes out. So my interest right now is connect my background in the digital, in the web, with the. I'm a bit tired of programming, of staying in front of the computer. I want to play a bit with the physical world, and I think robotic is something that is interesting, but I'm a bit lazy, and I'm really fascinated by Arduino, but I want to keep things simple, and I think everybody loves Lego, and that's my first love, I think. So I decided to start play with Lego and bring it to another level. So start to make robotics simple, more simple, and more interesting. So what is Web Bluetooth? Web Bluetooth is a new API that is made by Google and is integrated into Chromium, and it came out really recently, and permits to connect to Bluetooth devices from a web page. The supported devices right now are not all, but quite enough to start playing with it. So we have Android 6, actually 5 with Chromium, but out of the box, Chrome can permit you from a web page right now to, without any flag, anything, to connect to a Bluetooth device. It works in Mac, it works in Linux, twice Mac because I like it more, and Windows 10 should come this year, hopefully. iOS, we know. We have to cross the fingers. So why I think it's revolutionary? Because it pushed forward the IoT, the Internet of Things. It permits to more people to start to build physical devices, to start to move real things without getting into C, Java. And because more people, a lot of people have web knowledge, as the previous speaker said. I really like the introduction you did. So what is BluetoothJS? BluetoothJS is a small library I made. Well, actually, I copied and pasted code around to start playing with Bluetooth, with web Bluetooth. So it's just a simple class that makes things easier. Why? Because the real core of the project is another one, is sbrick.js. So what is sbrick? Sbrick is this. It's just it was a Kickstarter project in 2014, I think, and it has 2 years right now, more or less. 2015 maybe, I don't remember. Well, it's not from Lego, but it's compatible with all the Lego motors and sensors through some cables. For example, if somebody knows NXT, AVU3, somebody can move the head if somebody knows them. So I know I'm talking about something that is known. So, for example, this is NXT and can be connected through some weird connections to this. But soon, technically, is coming a cable that permits to connect straight the sensor and the motors. So, more or less, we can connect everything. We already have a lot of motors, a lot of sensors, and also there are companies that build sensor and motors that are compatible with Lego because it's a standard. That's the interesting thing. We have a standard, and we have things that we can buy already made because we have to remember I'm lazy. So I don't want to build, I don't want to solder, I don't want to do these kind of things. So what is sbrick.js? It's a library I wrote that I use Bluetooth.js to connect to this little device from a web page through web Bluetooth. But what we can do, why we do this, or at least I do this, because there is no need of Arduino, so no soldering, no connecting cables, no 3D printing pieces, especially this part I think is really time consuming, so making the piece, printing the piece, then the printing is not going well, so reprint it or buy it already printed. So it's a lot of work, in my opinion, and I like Lego. So we have a lot of pieces already made. No, thank you. And especially, I'm making this project with in mind the hate of a lot of people for programming. So not hopefully in this room, but outside in the real world. So I'm trying to make things easy, and I'm in love also with Tumult Type that I don't know, not many people knows, but it's what you see is what you get. It's an editor that permits to create animations and export the code. It generates code with just one button. And now I will show you. So also we have a lot of code, a lot of libraries are already made. Why we don't use them and we connect with the real world? The code is cross-platform. So when we make our code, it works on the computer, it works also on the Android device, and hopefully on the iPhone one day. And the thing of the standard pieces. So let's make a demo, and let's show a bit how to use this. So this is Hype. I'm just going to create a button. I'm going to drag and drop inside Bluetooth.js and promise queue. Sorry. So this allows me already to connect to Bluetooth devices, okay? But we want to connect to a specific device. So we drag and drop also sbrick.js. From our button, we create an event, a click event. And we create also another event for the initialization. So I prefer to copy and paste code because I'm nervous when I'm coding. So I create an instance of the sbrick class. When I open the project. And when I'm clicking, I'm going to connect. So if I run this code, what happened? It opens a pop-up from Chrome. Here we have in Chrome. And I see all the Bluetooth devices. We can filter this, but right now we keep it simple. So right now I cannot do anything, so I go on with the code. I create a second button and I call it move, and a third button, I call it stop. So I create other two events. So I use this function drive. I'm using some constants that I already have created in my library. I have 4 ports: 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I say port 0, clockwise, this is the direction, so it can be clockwise or counterclockwise. And this is the maximum amount, it's 0 to 55. By created constant, so it's easier. So since we don't want it to move forever, hopefully, I create also a stop action. What is going to stop? The port 0. So let's try if it works. So what I'm doing right now, I'm taking a battery from Lego, I'm giving power to this brick, I mount it in a thing I built today for the presentation. And I connect the motor to the first port, the port 0, and I turn it on. So let's try if it works. So I have 2 S bricks, one is there, I'll show you later why. I connect to the white, to this one. I call the action move and it moves, I call the stop and it stops. Just 2 lines of code, really simple, nothing more. From IPE, I can do more things without programming. Now we have the functions. Okay, I'm tired. I don't want to program anymore. So let's create a really simple action. Okay, let's call it program. And let's delete this button. Don't like it. We say start timeline program. So we I created a timeline, it's called program, and I set an action on the button that is going to start this timeline. What happened in this timeline? I can do a lot of actions. I decide to do move, and after 3 seconds, I decide to stop. Again, let's see if everything works. I turn on. It works. So I can create, of course, more complex timelines without using programming. I mean, creating functions and call them in different ways. but we like programming here. So let's go on. I actually closed the presentation. Good. So let's start to use the power of the web. So in this example, I'm going to read the likes on my Facebook page. I'm showing them there. There are not many, and I don't like it, right? So I'm going to pair this web page to my motor there. So they're going to move when somebody put a like. So I really hope that somebody is going to put a like during this presentation, so we will see them animating during the presentation, and I will be happy. And we leave it there. It stays open, doesn't matter. Wait. So how it works this? Well, so when the people put the like on Facebook, like now, the Facebook server updates. And there is my computer that is reading every 1 second, because it's enough for a like, the counter. And when the counter updates, the web page is going to call the desk brick and is going to move the motors. Really simple. But let's go on. So since the desk brick is coming with an application, why these guys, these Hungarians, because they are Hungarians, they build S-brick because they like to control remotely their robots, their creations. So they created an app for iOS, yes, also for iOS, and for Android. And you, of course, you can use it. But I want to show that this is possible to do also with web technologies. So I built this. So this is the web page where I'm putting everything I'm doing right now. This is a generic tank controller because I like tanks. I never built one, but I like tanks. One day I want to build one. So let's reuse components because Lego costs a lot. So So right now, I open a web page. This is not an application. This is just a web page. And it's online. So we can see I have already paired another S-brick because it's the like one. Exactly. And I paired also my robot. And I can control my robot from here. I'm loading the voltage and I'm showing it in the UI. I'm using the timelines of hype to create a nice UI, the temperature, so I have a bit of data from the S-brick. And of course, I can connect other motors. But of course, this is a web page. So I can go on my phone, now I cannot show you what's happening here, but hope you trust me. So I'm opening the controller from here and connecting to the brick, and I move it. And there is a bit of lag. So I also built a car controller. So who likes car can already play, and who likes tanks can already play. I also used a full screen API to put everything full screen and out. Of course, now we are already full screen, so it's not working. But let's move on. What we can do when we are in a web environment, I think is really interesting. They're burning every year, every month, new APIs. We can read the gyroscope. We can read the accelerometer. We can read the GPS, the position. We can do a lot of things. So I want to make a little demo about this also. Thank you. So I had to build this ugly thing because I realized the magnetometer of the mobile doesn't really like the magnet inside the motor. But yeah, this is just for demo purposes. So I block the rotation because now it gets crazy. So it basically moves to the north. Just using the Compass API and using the smartphone inside my creation, that's the idea that I'm working on. I'm just experimenting what is possible to do. I can create a sort of real compass. But very expensive and very ugly. I know. But come on, it's a demo. But let's start to play with other things. This, I don't know if it's going to work really well. Let's cross our fingers. So, let's see. Okay, you know. Move forward, stop. It works. So, well, I don't put it down because I'm scared. It's going to kill us. Move forward 3 seconds. Move forward 1 second. Doesn't like it today. Well, anyway. You can build with some APIs that already exist with just a bunch of lines, complex things, okay? So voice recognition, for example. And also you can use the camera. And you can use WebRTC. I was playing with our WebRTC. I built this little thing here. So some like. So I also want to show so I'm using web technologies to stream from the camera. So I can, I don't have it, but I can basically use my phone to see the robot view and everything, and at the same time control it from a web page. Everything with web technologies. But let's move forward. Let's start to dream a bit and think what we can do with this sort of technologies. Just being creative and with the mind having fun. So I use a JavaScript library that already exists, so I didn't code that much. I just got crazy because I don't like a mathematic with the color definition. Just say, what is red, what is orange, what is green, what is dark green, and I built this. A piano that basically converts colors in notes. And in relationship of the distance of the object, the amount of color, and the kind of color is going to type a different note with different speed. So here we have, is working the audio? I forgot no, wait. So this is, it's called, it was an art installation day called Absurd. So I had to do something absurd, right? So you can see this nice lady having fun, just moving in front of the camera, and the piano is playing just with the colors that she is wearing. Or of course you can move things in front of the screen and you can play. So people, I have to say, they got crazy about this. They had a lot of fun. See. So yeah. So well, to this yeah, this is a bit a little hack we did because I collaborating with the Maker Convent of Barcelona. They have 3D printers, And yeah, sometimes I like to 3D print. So we print this connector here, so we can give power to this brick without batteries and using a Chinese charger that you can buy with few euros. And what's next? Well, I don't know. I'm thinking about artificial intelligence, machine learning. I would like to connect a lot of things, inputs, and see and try libraries. In the direction of education, art installation. I don't know. I want to have fun and see what is possible to do, and hopefully find some sponsor. I already have one. That is Robotica of Barcelona. So let's say it because they have been really nice. We have been to the Maker Faire Saturday and Sunday. I don't know if somebody was there and saw us. And that's it. Big thank you to Multype because they made a really nice software. As Brick because they made this little nice guy. The Maker Convent, the shop of Robotica, and of course BarcelonaJS to permit me to stay here and show you my toys.
Thanks a lot. Any questions? Okay, that was fast.
Sorry. More or less, how much money do you need to spend to create something like the autonomous car that is for a friend?
Which one?
How much? I don't know. Actually, whatever the robots you have here, any of them, how much money, more or less, do you need to spend to create them?
Probably more than making with Arduino. That's what you want to know.
But yes,
but yeah.
I'm just like you. I think for me it's going to be easier to just use this kind of already created blocks that to learn how to use Arduino.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. It's a matter of deciding, okay, you want to spend a lot of time and learn Arduino, you are into that kind of stuff, so go for Arduino, and of course you can do a lot of more things. Not like, are two different ways of making robots. And you can also buy the kit of Lego and making robots with that one. Of course, that's really expensive. So this is something in between. So you can buy just the motors and this brick. Even you can not buy the battery, for example, because you can use different sources with the hack that I show, and so you can not pay that much, like to buy the Mindstorm, the Mindstorm kit, and yeah, it's a solution in between.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Thanks for the talk. The question is about the concurrent connections for Bluetooth. What are the limitations for the laptops and for the mobile device? For example, can you connect to multiple devices from your phone?
Yes, because the piano was working with 2S bricks because it was moving 7 motors. So, so it was moving 7 motors, and so 4 motors each one, 4 one and 3 the other one. And I didn't test it for the phone, but technically should be the same. I don't know how many devices you can connect. It's web Bluetooth specification probably, or yeah, I don't know.
So I saw that you were using your phone for camera and for compass. So my question is, what kind of sensors does Lego give you? What kind of sensors do you get with Lego?
Yeah, nice question. Yeah, I forgot about it. I forgot to say that this is the first version as brick. This is just output, okay? Then after 1 year, they made another campaign, and they made S-Brick Plus that permits to convert every output in input. So you can also read. You can connect the we do sensor that are just two. This is a really terrible accelerometer, and these are the distance sensor that they are terrible as well. I'm not going to lie about that. But you can use DynXT and other. I'm working on it. Honestly, I feel the sensor from the 4 are more are faster but there are companies that in the past built a lot of sensor for the old RCX, the first version of Mindstorm. So it's I'm studying a bit also because SBrick is really, I have to say it, it's really slow to answer, to support the developers. So I'm still waiting to understand really well how to read the values. And I really hope they will answer me how to, I'm reading the values, but I don't, how to interpret them.
Okay, any last question? Okay, thanks a lot, Francesco.